Now, I don't like to waste your time. You know the story by now, okay? You start by doing the work. You go crazy on that first week. You go wild and you do all the things you're supposed to. You're really consistent for a little bit. And then eventually that passion, it dies out because your motivation died out. And that hard work that you were putting in to that thing that you were creating, whether it be your art skill or your bodybuilding or your work in a business or you're studying, I don't care what it is, honestly. It falls off eventually because you could not stay consistent with your work. You could not stay obsessed with your work, with the things that you are doing to make your future better. And that part is important. So today I have 3 easy ways for you that I thought of right now to get better at being obsessed with your work. Not just like doing it consistently, but getting obsessed with it. It being like the only thing in your mind, that thing clouding in your mind, right? That thing that you think about when you're at work. Because honestly, when I have like a quick moment to think, when I'm doing something else, when I'm out and about, when I'm doing other work, like work for school and work for my part-time job, I don't think about like a game or anything, or like a show that I want to watch. Maybe I do sometimes. Like I'll be like, damn, new Dragon Ball Dynamite episode came out, I want to watch that. But a lot of the times I'm thinking about what can I do to fulfill my future. And I'm thinking about the things that I can do to fulfill that. And that's what's clouding my mind. And I bet it is for you too. But once you get home, there's a big issue. You get distracted. That is the first thing we have to knock off our list. Distractions. Your environment. This is killing your drive. I put it as the first one not because I think it's the most impactful one, but because it's the one that you know very damn well is messing up your consistency. Think about that. When you go to do your work, where do you do it? Seriously, if you have to put in like an hour of work to get this task done, whether it be school or whatever it may be, where do you go? Do you go to your like dining table? Do you go to your bed? If that's one of your answers, that's a big issue. Because think about how our brain works, okay? You're going to your bed to study. You are going to your bed to study. So think about what your bed is in your brain. The way our brain works is we have schemas, right? So we associate different things with other things. It's why something like, I don't know, the Pavlov dogs, right? They associate the walking and the whistle with like the food, so they start salivating, okay? We correlate our knowledge with other knowledge, and that's how we identify what it is by association. That's how examples work. So, think about what happens when you go to study in your bed. Something that you use to sleep. Like, literally you use it to sleep. Or like, I don't know, get freaky. I guess people do that too. You would do that too, honestly. But, like, those are the 2 things on your mind. The things that correlate with your bed. Okay? Sleeping and getting freaky, okay? Those are the 2 things that correlate, okay? It shouldn't be more than that. Don't try to add studying into there. Because when you get on your bed and you try to start to study, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna get sleepy, or you're gonna get freaky. I don't know, but what's gonna happen is it's not gonna be a lot of studying, okay? And you're gonna get lost. Think about if you sit in your gaming chair, sit in front of your gaming PC. If you go to do your homework at your gaming PC, you're gonna get distracted. You know why? Because you're gonna be like, damn, I play League of Legends on this bitch. Or damn, I play Valorant on this. Or I don't know, Minecraft. Whatever you play on your computer. That's what you associate your gaming PC with. So you're gonna associate it with fun. With a cool activity. Rather than actually focusing on your work. And you're going to be thinking about other things are being affected because your brain is correlating this environment with something that you're not doing. Leave your bed to sleeping. Leave your gaming PC for playing. And find somewhere that's a little better to study. Somewhere that you only go there to study. Somewhere with no distractions. And that's what I mean by distractions. When we say distractions, a lot of you will think about, hey, a little brother comes in and he interrupts you. Or mom calls me down to do dishes. I'm not necessarily talking about just that. I'm talking about distractions. Which can be that, but it can also be in your own head. If you're in an environment where you can get distracted by just the association that your brain makes with the environment, of course that's a huge distraction that's going to affect your work. If you get a Steam notification in the corner of your screen because you're on your gaming PC, of course it's going to affect your work. Okay? You need to take out the distractions, and your environment matters a lot. Even like a coffee shop or a mall or a library. That is a great place to do your work because you are in a spot where you can get it done, where you don't have distractions, where the most interesting thing is your work. That's a really big thing. If you're in a spot where there's so much cool stuff around you, 2 monitors, I have 2 monitors right here, right? And I can only focus because I have my camera right here and I need to talk, but I have my notes right here, right? So if there's interesting things all around you, how are you going to focus on your work? Where everywhere you turn, there's something more interesting than your work. You're not going to go to Disneyland to do your homework, right? Why would you do that? There's so much stuff to do there. So many distractions. So much fun things that are more fun than your work. You need to work somewhere where your work is the funnest thing you can do, because then you get obsessed with it. Then you get locked in. If I have my notes right here, and I have this monitor right here, and then I have like pencils here, and like notepads over there, and a keyboard here, of course the most interesting thing is going to be this camera because I'm speaking. I'm articulating my thoughts in a way where nothing else I could be doing here is more fun than talking to this camera right here like a lunatic, okay? That's why it works so well, okay? That's the first one. Then the second one, routine. Stick to the end because I have a really cool one for the end and a really a strategy that's worked really well for me that I learned recently. But right now, we're on routine, habit. This one's really big, especially if you're doing something like the gym where you need to be in a specific spot to do it, right? Create a routine. Create a time slot in your schedule where you always do it. It becomes so much easier to do because it becomes a habit. We are creatures of habit, okay? When you roll out of bed and brush your teeth, you do that out of habit, okay? When you roll out of bed and you put on your socks, or whatever you do a lot in your morning routine or your nightly routine, whatever you're consistent with that, it's a habit. And that's why it's so easy for you to keep doing it because you're so used to it. If you incorporate the gym, for example, and on your way home from work or from the college or school, you stop at the gym every single day and you do your workout and then go home, it becomes so easy because you're doing it every day. Your brain loves habits. It loves doing the things it's used to. Think about why it's so hard to start something new, why it's so hard to quit something you've been doing for a long time. Your brain is attached to the things it knows well. Think about why you love being, this is going to sound like a reach, but you are used to a toxic relationship, so it feels weird to leave that toxic relationship. Think about why your brain wants to stay in the toxic relationship despite it being so obviously toxic. It's because you're used to it. That's a crazy one for me. Like, wow, even though it's so obviously toxic, because I'm used to it, I want to be a part of it. And this applies to everybody because we are creatures of habit. So if you create this habit, this routine of doing the good habit at the end, or like somewhere where the slot makes sense, whether it be in the morning or after work, whatever it is for you. Make sure that you're doing it often and at that specific interval of time where it makes more sense for you. And then finally, my final easy way to get obsessed with your work, the 10-minute strategy. Now, when I say this, what the hell am I talking about with the 10-minute strategy? Like, what is that, right? What is this 10-minute strategy? Well, it was something that my academic advisor told me at college. I had to do these 5 academic advising appointments for one of my scholarships, and one of which was was a meeting with this guy, and he was telling me about studying habits, and one of them really caught my attention. He called it the 10-minute study habit. And what you do is that you tell yourself you're only going to do the habit for 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes. If I have to study, I'm just going to go study for 10 minutes. Only 10 minutes. What that does is that it eliminates and it makes the hardest part of that easier. Starting. That first step into doing the action. Once you're doing the action, it just rolls, okay? But to sit me down in this chair and start making this video, that was the hardest part out of all of it. Articulating my thoughts and doing all of this, I'm having fun with that. But to really get in this position where I'm telling you these things, where I'm like ready, okay? Where I want to sit down and do this hard work that will help me out in the future, that is the hardest part. So when I tell myself I'm only gonna do it for 10 minutes, just 10 minutes, you gaslight yourself into doing this habit, and then you get stuck and hyperfixated there. I don't know if it's just my like ADHD brain, I'm not gonna lie. I get hyperfixated on things, okay? The way that I work is once you get me into something, I'm locked in. Just like doing that thing for like a long period of time. But then maybe when you pull me away, it's hard for me to get locked back in. Once I'm in. I reach that flow state where I'm just obsessed with it. And I feel like a lot of people that are ADHD like me, that just like dart all over the place with my thoughts, right? Very similar, okay? And that is where the Pomodoro method doesn't work and the 10-minute method does. If you know the Pomodoro method, it's another studying habit where you do the hard work for 30 minutes and then you do a 5-minute break. And then you alternate between 30 minutes, 5-minute break. 30 minutes, 5-minute break. The thing with the Pomodoro method is that when I take the 5-minute break, it's hard for me to get locked back in. Because I am different to other people, to people who have a normal brain. Because like honestly, I feel like I'm a little ADHD. It doesn't work for me. That 5-minute break completely takes me out of my flow state. That Pomodoro method doesn't work for me. And you have to realize that you are going to be different than everybody else. Things that work for everyone else might not work for you, okay? I'm left-handed, okay? I've gotten used to that, okay? I have to like do right-handed scissors with my left hand, stuff like that, okay? The entire world is built for right-handed people, and I have to use my left hand because that's just how I am, okay? But the point is that just because something is really popular and there's a popular habit doesn't mean it's gonna fit for you. This 10-minute strategy works for me. If the Pomodoro method works for you, absolutely amazing. But keep in mind that a lot of these things, you have to find the one that works for you. Your specific skill set, your specific brain. If you're anything like me and you're a little ADHD and you get hyperfixated on things, this 10-minute strategy will work wonders for you in the ways that Pomodoro method can't. And I feel like there's not enough stigma raised around that, right? We're in a society right now where everything is now. It's instant. You go on YouTube Shorts, you go on TikTok, it's like boom, boom, boom. Your dopamine is getting violated. Really, your dopamine receptors are just getting like fueled all the time with these instant gratifying habits, right? So it's important to just ground yourself and realize that, yeah, I'm just gonna sit down 10 minutes, that's it. Just 10 minutes. Once 10 minutes, I'm done. And then you'll just get hyperfixated, locked in on this thing that you want to do. And you'll just do it, right? Like I've sat here for 15 minutes and this has been the easiest part. Yapping my ass off. I can do this all day. But getting me in this chair, turning on this camera, looking into the lens and pressing that start record button, that was the hardest part of it all. That consistency to start doing the habit and consistently keeping to start doing that habit, that is the hardest thing. At least it is for me, and I assume it is for you too. Stay consistent. That's the hardest part. Anyway, that's all I got for you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. I'm not gonna be uploading a lot because finals are coming up, and that's why I haven't been uploading a lot. But I still wanted to squeeze out this video because it was some cool little brain rot things that were on my mind that I think would be really useful for the kind of people that I would want to watch my videos. Anyway, that's all I got for you. Bye-bye.